So this time we'll be taking a look at the Giant Size X-Men 35th Anniversary Marvel Universe box set. And this is of course, the cover to Giant Size X-Men #1. And turning around to the back of the package. The back of the package here, you can see all the figures. And there's a little write-up there. Additional figures. When you open the box here, on the top half, you can see the cover yet again and more information. So pretty cool. And as you can see, I've worn my X-Men shirt for this video, the same graphic cover of the Giant Size X-Men #1. Now we'll take a look at all the figures. And here we are with the X-Men out of the package. And we'll be taking a quick look at each of them. So the first one I'm going to start with is Wolverine. I think the pads here, his shoulder pads, are more in line with the sort of 90s version of the yellow suit rather than his initial suit. He's got pretty standard articulation for the line here. Head, left and right, up and down. Arms are hindered by the shoulder pads, so they don't go all the way around until you pull them out a little bit. He does bend and rotate at the elbows, and he rotates at the wrists. He's got torso articulation left and right, forward and back. So his hip joints here have this rotate and go in and out, and his upper thigh rotates as well. He's got double knee joints, and his feet bend a little bit and rotate. Now, one thing I noticed on this elbow here, this joint, this little piece here sometimes catches on the back of his elbow, like that. Be real careful of that. Sculpt-wise, he's not too bad. Again, the shoulder pads are a little bit too much. They should be smaller ones around the very outside of the shoulder. Paint-wise, he's alright. No, nothing too bad about him. I'm sure that they've used this guy before, this mold before. And if you notice, he is quite smaller than all the other figures there, so that's pretty cool. Just like the real Wolverine would be much smaller than any of the other X-Men. So let's move to the Thunderbird. I guess he's a reuse of the Warpath with these little fringe things added onto the sculpt. Maybe the belt, since this is a whole nother piece, you can see that that moves, and I think it's probably a new face there, a new head. Paint-wise, he's okay. He goes from this dark blue, almost black, to a lighter blue on his pants there. I know they were trying for some shading there, but it doesn't quite work. There's too much black in the upper body, I think. So for his articulation, head goes left and right, up and down. His hair is quite a bit longer, so it does get in the way just a little bit. But his arms go all the way around. They go out and in, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and rotate at the wrist. His hands are sculpted in this awkward pose, I think. I'd rather have him have just a fist. Upper torso articulation left and right, forward and back, and a little bit side to side, not much. At the hips, he just goes forward and back and out to the side. He does not have that rotation there at the hip or the thigh rotation. Double knee joint. His feet bend and rotate. Kind of a bit awkward to pose. To the next one is Cyclops. And you see here very dark blue with black paint on the costume. Very good. A little bit darker than I'd like, but I think this is the closest out of all the other ones. I believe it's the same mold used in the 2-pack with the Hulk from the Secret Wars line and the Dark Phoenix in that comic 2-pack. So his articulation, head left, right, up and down, arms go all the way around, out to the side, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and rotate at the wrist. Torso articulation, left and right, forward and back. No side to side though. Legs forward, back, and out the side. Double knee joint, and ankles bend and rotate. Getting on to the figure. One of the figures that I was most keen to get in this set was the Classic Storm. Although it has all the standard female articulation points from Marvel Universe, the way they executed the cape here hinders a lot of that. That's a shame. So kind of a little bit disappointed in this figure. She can basically move her arms from there to there, and she can bend her elbows exactly that much. That's about it. She can't move her arms any more forward or around because of the cape. Her head, she can move left and right and up and down a little bit. The hair is very soft, so it will kind of get out of the way. She's got waist articulation there and upper torso articulation there, so forward and back, but again, the way the cape is kind of forces her forward a little bit, but legs go forward and back and out to the side. She's got double knee joints, and her ankles bend and rotate. Some people have kind of complained that her costume is mainly just done through paint apps and not sculpted in, but I really don't mind. The thing that annoys me is the restricting of the posability of the arms. But it is still cool to have a classic Aurora Storm figure. And so now we get to Nightcrawler. And Nightcrawler is just a little bit better repaint of the previously released Nightcrawler from the Secret Wars. As you can see here, a little bit different paint job in the face. They've given him bigger eyes. It's actually the same mold. Now that I look at it close enough, it's actually the same mold. He's got a darker paint, and they've painted the eyes bigger here. I kind of like the smaller eyes there, and they've taken away the shading there and given him the dark eyebrows. I don't know if you can see that. And also they've fixed the little problem here of the whole figure being painted red underneath there, and they've painted it black underneath there, so that's much better. They've even actually gone back and painted the shoulder pieces here, giving a little bit more definition to his body. They've carried out the shading here too, and I complained about this on before. They've actually improved the white on the figure and eliminated the bluish tinge to his the white parts of his costume, and even the red here on his the red bits on his forearm and shins or lower legs there are a little bit more clearer. On the whole, yeah, I think he's better. I wonder if I can maybe switch the heads here. Oh, that's another thing, is that I find that his head snaps off pretty easily when you try and move it there. So let me just try something here. So yeah, if you didn't notice, I just switched his heads. I still don't know which head I like more. The sort of lighter blue with the smaller eyes and the shading here with the huge eyebrows, or the darker blue with the huge eyes and the small eyebrows. I think I'm gonna go with this, like that. We'll put the so his articulation again, not hindered by the shoulder pieces there, so his arms do go all the way around, which is cool. They rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate at the wrist, upper torso, left and right, forward and back, so much so that you can actually see the joint there and the gap in there. Legs go forward and back and out to the side, double knee joint, and his feet bend and rotate. And last but not least, we have Colossus, who, again, they've used the Marvel Universe Colossus as a sort of starting point for the figure, and they've repainted him and retooled him a little bit. You can see the boots. Here they've added these little flayed tops of the boots at the knee pads, at the knee joints. His reds are a much lighter red than before. Kind of kept the same yellow color here in the middle. The belt here, they've switched the paint on that to more closely resemble the classic look, and most obvious, they've gone with a slightly lighter, I'd say more shinier paint job for his metal skin. Oh, and they've sort of cut the long shoulder pads off of here, so he's got even more movement up here, even though this guy could really, since this was soft rubberized plastic, you could still get a nice range of motion with this guy. Here you have even more range of motion, which is, basically 360 around. His articulation, left and right on the head, up and down, very, very easy. I showed you that his arms do go all the way around. He rotates at the bicep, bends at the elbow, and rotates at the fist. Upper torso articulation goes left and right, and forward and back. A little bit, no side to side. He's got the joints here at the hip that, go forward and back and out to the side a little bit. He rotates at the upper thigh, double knee joints, and his ankles bend and rotate. But he still has this little problem here of the sort of the upper part of the costume not fully aligning and covering the chest here. So that's a look at the X-Men, the 35th anniversary giant size X-Men Marvel Universe box set. Stay tuned for more Marvel Universe figures, and till my next video, I'll see you.